Shine, wild ones, it's Bernadette. I am here with your pick a card tarot reading for Thursday, March, what is it? Oh my gosh, again with the losing trip. March 11th. How can I forget the number 11? Oh my goodness, it's such a huge number in my life, in my family's life. Okay, so there's just, sometimes it takes me a little while to catch on to things. Sometimes I'm like one taco short of a combination plate. But y'all, it just hit me this morning when River Otter showed up as the Six of Cups. And I'm thinking, what is all this stuff about past memories? And then yesterday it was about, we talked, or I don't know, yesterday or the day before, whatever. I was like, listen, y'all, there's a reason. Like I was born into a Jewish family, and then my mom decided she didn't want to be Jewish after she and my dad divorced, so she went to Lutheran for like 3 minutes, and she wasn't really she and my grandma was a single mom also way back in the day, when there were no such things as single moms, and she was a Lutheran also for about 2.5 seconds, and I just was wearing my garb that's very indicative of indigenous Native American, right, and talking about how listen, just because you weren't born into a culture in this lifetime, if you feel that pull, if you feel that call, like I always have, and I don't think it's any coinky dink that I incarnated in this life in Florida. Hello, the Native American culture in Florida, right? And was fascinated with it from when I was a kid, even till now. Not really fascinated so much anymore. I just really, way early in my life, I knew I belonged in that culture. My mom was, city girl from Miami. Come on now. What are they, but that was it, man. When she divorced my dad and we moved to Ocala, Florida, she was free to be wild and whoever she wanted to be. And she stepped right into that. And so, then now, Six of Cups comes today, and let's just for a second, and then we'll get to River Otter, because that is, in the Native American culture, and, other cultures too, but certainly in the Native American culture, when they adopt a spiritual name based on a journey they've gone on, or, however they come about it, Otter is a big one in the Native American culture. And so when we just take a look at just the traditional meanings of the Rider-Waite tarot card for Six of Cups, and I read from my own award-winning history-making Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck, which does the tarot card part stays very true to the Rider-Waite tarot card meanings, but it also introduces that tarot card meaning as an animal ally, and it's the animal ally that told me when I was creating the deck and channeling the deck, because it was like a 2.5-year channel, y'all. It was intense, but told me that that was the card it was supposed to be. And so, River Otters are going to take us into the water element. That's going to have to do with feelings. It's going to have to do with emotions. It's going to have to do with diving deep, because listen to this. River Otters can dive 60 feet. 60 feet, y'all, and they can hold their breath 8 minutes underwater. So the first thing that teaches us for today is that you can do anything for 8 minutes. You can hold your breath, you can hold your tongue, you can hold your whatever, you can do it for 8 minutes. But the flip side of that is that you can do amazing things in 8 minutes. When some of you might have seen the manatee video, I'll put the link down in the comments below. I went diving with manatees in 24-degree weather here in Florida just, I don't know, a month ago. And it was something I wasn't sure I was going to be able to do. I made a big announcement about my personal life in that video, in that I had only been released by my doctors, like since October of 2019, only then released by my doctors the week before to do anything physical like that. And my rheumatologist looked at me, he said, well, I hope you have someone there who can drag your carcass up on that boat. He said, because you are not going to have the muscle strength to do that. But you know what? I did. I'm telling you right now, all of the river creatures, all of the sea creatures, everything channeled their energy into me, and I swam all around that dang place, except for the time I almost floated up under the boat. That's a story for that video, so watch that video. But where I'm going with this is, it's that 8 minutes. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't care if you are scared to death. Make yourself do something for that 8 minutes. For most of us, it's going to be one or the other. It's going to be holding our temper, holding our tongue, dealing with somebody that we really just want to, you know, maybe give a little bit of a throat tap to. So somebody said that to me in a reading last week. They just wanted to throat punch somebody. I laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed. But, you know, punch is a little much, but maybe just tap them in the throat, just tell them they need to hold they need to dial it back a notch also. But the flip side of that, which I really am feeling more of, is that there's something y'all want to do. You're so excited about it. You're like, oh, can I do it? Can I not? Oh my God, how do I do it? Just do it for 8 minutes, whatever it is. Time yourself 8 minutes. And you know what? Maybe it takes you a little while to ramp up to that. You got to do it for 1 minute, then 2 minutes, but whatever. You just got to do it, right? Get up to 8 minutes. Okay. So the other thing about the Six of Cups is it's really about memories being a treasure trove of joy and valuable lessons. It's also a card about pure innocent pleasure, that you just do what you do just for the pleasure of it. No agenda, no contract, no nothing. You just love it. Case in point, I open forums. Please join us there at gatheringofmystics.com. I do free readings. I do free, you know, coaching. I just do all that stuff. And yes, I'm sure it will turn out to be a good business move sometime, maybe, possibly, I don't know. But y'all, I just couldn't stand the censorship anymore. I couldn't stand it. It was eating me up inside. My biggest wish for y'all, the animal allies' biggest wish for y'all, I got news, your own spirit and soul, its biggest wish for y'all is that you're wild and free. You're not in anybody else's prison, even one that you make yourself. You got to get out. And I was like, that's enough of that, man. I put those forums up. It took longer than I thought because it was harder to get them up and going than I thought. But we're there. The conversations are fantastic. And I'm doing that for the pure pleasure. I wish I could respond more. I want to. I'm trying to carve my time out. But I do that for the pure pleasure of it. If it makes a dime maybe it does, maybe it won't. I don't know. I don't care. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love you all. And so, you know, this the Six of Cups is the Scorpio card. And it is, you know, Scorpios are all about digging up the past, but rare treasures from the past, right? That's really what we're looking for. So, this is a call for you to remember in this life your treasured memories. But I'm telling you, when I took a look at every card that's come through already this week, I went, oh, okay, it's past life week at, you know, on Bernadette's YouTube channel, on, you know, my spirit animal channel. It's past life week, you know, spin the wheel, Pat. What do you get? And I just really feel like that y'all are being called to do past life work this week. So you might sit in a number of meditations, remembering different past lives. You might sit in a journey with your animal ally, your power animal, your spirit animal, maybe with your own totems, and you may ask them to show you past lives. And you can also ask, I don't know why I never told y'all this before. I'm sorry, I'll do a video on it. I don't know why I just assumed you would get this, but I got a lot of questions after this past ceremony, Sunday ceremony, about could you have been an animal in a past life? Yes, I'm completely convinced not only was I a bear in at least one past life, I'm so strongly connected to bear. I really think I've been a bear in many, many lifetimes, and I'm not too sure. You ladies that are past the change, if you know what I'm talking about, you'll know about growing hair. And so I'm not convinced I'm not half bear in this lifetime too, but better living through chemicals, right? Okay, so something about this week in particular, you're being called to do some past life regression work. And you may ask the spirit animal or power animal to show up to you that you were in a past life and journey you back to that life. You know, you guys might go on a soul retrieval together. Listen, there's no one way to do all these things. There are people that will tell you that they will, that I'm the teacher of this, and this is the tradition as it's been handed down. Okay, it was that tradition until something was added or taken away from that tradition. And they don't know. They didn't get to talk to somebody in the 1700s, the 1800s, or the 1900s that was part of that tradition being taught down. They don't know. They don't know how much it changed or not. It's what they know today. It's what they were told today is the way. Prove it to me. You can't. Prove it to all of us. You can't. Now, if it's something you feel in your heart and spirit that's right for you and is the way for you, then it's the way. But there are so many different ways to get to past lives and messages and whatever. And I've always found with my students, just even the ones that will pretend, like suspend disbelief just through the classes that there is no one way to do things, you should see. You should see how much their psychic and mediumship and intuitive tarot reading abilities just go. They progress more in 6 weeks than they might have had in the last 6 years. It's insane. Now, some of them go away. They're not comfortable floating around out there. They want to, they want to do it just like that. Groovy. That's their process. It's their method. Excellent. But for those of you that are looking to really expand, which is always what past lives are about. Past lives are about understanding what we're doing in this world today and why we do it and why we like it, why we don't like it, why we gravitate to this, why we don't gravitate to that. All of those kinds of things. And for those of us that are really into the healing thing, you can heal familial DNA. That's a whole nother conversation for another time. You can heal your own DNA. You can heal, you can do past life healing. You can do whatever you want because we're in this vessel, right? Grr, I'm in the bear vessel. But so what? The you that's you is not in here. It's floating around out there somewhere. That's why they call it the higher self. There's a great theory that talks about how you are bilocating. Part of you is in this vessel, but part of you that you're still attached to, which is your higher self, your soul, still lives there, right there, up there. I don't know. It could be, it could be the ground that you walk on. It could be sacred hollow ground that you walk on. I don't know. It could be everywhere. That's my theory. And you attach to that, and you're always attached to that, right? So all that being said, let me get to Otter for a second. When you take a look at river otters, they're otters. Okay, there's not a whole lot special about them except for they're otters, which brings us great joy to watch them. And they're so funny and they're so connected to family. You guys have seen the Facebook, and it's been, I don't have this number, but I gotta believe it's been shared over 1 billion times on social media all around. It's the ones where they're holding their hands, little otters floating on their back with their tum-tums, and they're holding hands and they're sleeping. Okay. And otters carry their children on their back or on their belly, so on and so forth. But for today, what I was told is that there are 2 things that work here. Otters are very sweet till they get a hold of your thumb, and they've got bone-crushing teeth, y'all. They can bite right and slap bite your finger off. And yes, I said it, slap bite your finger off. Now, that's awesome for them. And that's how they, get food out of mollusks and shells and that kind of thing. And they might, they might eat a fish beneath the water, but they'll haul that bigger fish out. I hate talking about that stuff. I know that there's a world. I know that there's a reality where every living thing does not have to consume something else that's living. Even vegetarians and vegans, we're still consuming living things, y'all. Okay, living things with a consciousness, just so you know. And believe me, vegetarian, vegan for I don't know how many decades until just recently, and I'm weaning off of that again too because it's killing me. But there's a part of that talks about sinking your teeth into past lives, sinking your teeth into really taking this week, and maybe I'm sure you'll need time and other times, obviously, to just really, and when I say sink your teeth into something, I mean get focused, get real, and have your space. No phone, no kids, no husband, no partner, no wife, no neighbor, nobody but you and the universe. And you are the universe and the universe is you, but you get it. But I'm just really hearing that it's got to be in complete privacy and silence because you're going to go on a journey like no joke. You know what? This Sunday ceremony, we'll do a past life regression. I won't know yet what it's for because we're going to want to set our intention. Like, why are we trying to access this past life? Are we going to go with an animal? There may be an animal that comes out. You may have your own animal or whatever. But think about that. If you were going to journey with an animal, when you watch and participate in whenever that is, the Sunday ceremony, think about what animal you would take with you. And I'll have more information either as the week plays out or when we get there to Saturday. It just depends on when the animal spirit guides tell me. But you're going to want to sink your teeth into that. Now, here's the other thing. Pardon me. River otters are what's called an indicator species. And what that means is if something has gone awry, if there's toxicity or poison in the water or the fish or the mollusks or the shells or the oysters or the clams, or, whatever they're eating, because this is a river otter, but there are also sea otters. Today, we're talking just about the river otter. They're going to be the first ones to show signs of that. So there's something going on with you that you are actually an indicator species for your family, for your own self, for your environment that's around you. And if there are things, people, situations that you're feeling that are toxic, I guarantee you're feeling it, thinking it, seeing it, smelling it, tasting it, hearing it way before anyone else is. Please, number one, take care of yourself. Number two, not everyone will believe you, but it is incumbent upon you to share with people what you're seeing and feeling and experiencing, because what you're doing is you're getting out in front of it, right? You're controlling the narrative. That's my favorite thing. Like, anybody can control a narrative. They could try, but anyway, but you are getting out in front of the issue, and you will be able to head off at the pass other people that might be injured by this, or situations that might not go well because of this, so on and so forth. But mostly you're being called so that you see it for yourself and you don't let it lay you out flat. You don't get like poisoned, right? Okay. Because no good ever comes of that. So I know that's a lot. When we start talking about past lifetimes, y'all, I could be on this video from now till kingdom coming back. I surely could, but I'm not. So pick up your copy of the Archanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. For goodness sake, do yourself a humongous favor and get on over to gatheringofmystics.com. Registration is free. Lots of amazing things are going on over there already. Just, tons and tons of people. Very exciting stuff. Very healing stuff. Very spiritual. There's something for everybody over there. Believe it or not, it's true. So, but as always, what's the most important thing? For you to do good for animals and stay wild.